Yields. The chair recognizes Mr. Bost for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, with the higher demand of goods and services, many of the industries rely on freight trucks to deliver goods and service to the customers. The administration has focused a lot on rail transit and aviation within the budget requests, but continues to leave out some important things involving truck drivers, specifically truck parking. Now, while rail is vital in the rural areas of this nation rely on the delivery of those trucks, we have also seen an increase in the amount of women that are now driving, thank heaven. While the industry continues to grow, all of these trucks are struggling to find places to rest while trying to abide by the federal hours of service requirements. My legislation, the Truck Park Safety Improvement Act, addresses a shortfall on the truck parking to allow safe places for our drivers to take a break from the long road without fearing of accidents, assaults, or robberies. Now I asked about this topic last year and was told that the administration was working on the truck parking, and I was upset to see the budget request did not include anything regarding truck parking. What are you planning to do to address this issue? Because this issue came out, the first studies in 2002, how bad it is that we need truck parking.
Well, first of all, let me applaud your attention to the issue of truck parking and make clear that we are applying not just words, but dollars and cents to this issue. We've been able to fund projects in Wyoming, Tennessee, Florida, and other locations to support truck drivers. So I can assure you, even if it doesn't have its own line item, it is something that we consider important for a number of programs like infra, and also are urging our state partners to consider this as a use of their federal formula dollars and are encouraging them to remember that they have that flexibility. I spent some time just last week with truck drivers, including a number of women truck drivers who were pleased to see coming into that career. It remains as vital a career as ever, and we've got to make sure that we're supporting the drivers we count on in every way. We're taking a number of measures, including dealing with predatory leasing and towing, and encouraging veterans to get their costs paid for training, but certainly agree with you that parking is probably the number one issue we hear when we talk to drivers, and we're working on it.
If we can shift gears on my next question, the Attorney General is initiating a rulemaking, I think this was brought up by Representative Crawford earlier in the day, to change marijuana from a Schedule I to a Schedule III Controlled Substance Act. As a truck driver myself that grew up in the trucking business, my brother is still in the trucking business, I know it's difficult to hire and make sure that our drivers are safe. Matter of fact, it's real difficult part of hiring right now because of the drug testing. But part of the safety includes knowing the driver could pass that drug test. It's not something that we want to stop. So I want to ask you about since DOJ's actions will stop marijuana testing of DOD-regulated safety-sensitive employees. Now, let me tell you who all this includes, including school bus drivers, airline pilots, train engineers, subway and public bus operators, ferry operators, truck drivers, pipeline operators, FAA air traffic controllers. Will you commit to ensure that DOT will continue to test for marijuana as it currently is permitted to do, even if it moves to a Schedule III drug?
Yes, our commitment to that testing continues regardless of the schedule, and we believe our authorities are intact too, because they don't call for testing by reference to where marijuana sits in its classification, but rather it's specifically named. So whether we're talking about the regulated community, those drivers you were talking about, or whether we're talking about our own personnel, somebody with a security clearance or somebody in a tower, our understanding is at this time is that nothing about that reclassification would change our practices.
Then here's the problem. Well, just so you know, 1980s is when DOT did the result and resulted in the program that the accidents were caused by people using marijuana and the problems that occurred. If we don't stay with that program, and the thing that's difficult about that is right now when we have a driver shortage, you can have a beer on Sunday and you're not impaired to drive on Monday. Now you can smoke a joint on Friday. You may not be impaired, but it's going to show up in that test, and it'll show up for 30 days. Something's got to be figured out as far as that's concerned if we're going to continue down this path, because it makes it very difficult as a truck owner and a business owner to find the employees that aren't spending their time smoking dope in their parents' basement and are more concerned about having a job. And we've got to figure this out. And I hope that you'll continue to work on that to make sure that not only it's safe, but that we can also have drivers and figure out how we're going to do this if we're going to continue down this path.
Agreed.
Thank you. I yield back.